What's up guys, how you doing today? And you know what, today is a special build for you, cause this build is actually brought by one of my YouTube subscribers named DeLorean. So this is like the community build, you know. And the idea for this build came out of my Fate of the Fail Holy Shotgun, the classic version that I revisited of the Holy Shotgun Crusader build. And then the DeLorean came up with an idea to use the Blessed Ground instead of the classic Fires of Heaven. And at first I was skeptical, like, what the fuck, Blessed Ground with the Fate of the Fail? How is it supposed to work? But several days ago I actually tried this, and holy shit, it actually works. And you know what? It works even better than with the classic Holy Shotgun. It's much smoother. The skills are more aligned. There is consistency. There is this smooth gameplay. It's extremely awesome. So thanks DeLorean for this build. And all the credits absolutely go to you guys. Absolutely all the credit, guys. So let's go straight to the build, and then I will show you the clear. And I already cleared 70. Then I cleared 71 with the first attempt, and in my next clear I will be trying 72. That's what I plan to record and show you guys and see how good is this. But first I will go over the build and how it works. So first of all is the full 6-piece Akkhan, just like in the classic Holy Shotgun, guys. Strength with hit chance on the helm. On the shoulder, strength with CDR, and Heaven's Fury damage is first priority. Heaven's Fury damage is the best DPS boost roll that you can have out of this build. On the glove, strength damage chance and CDR as well. CDR and absolutely all gear, absolutely all the way. We need around 56% CDR effectively to have 100% uptime of Aquilas champion, exactly 56% CDR, and I have 55 and 57, so almost 56 CDR here. See, I have 6% CDR here. If I had 8 here, I would be a little over, even a little over. So the glove, strength, damage chance, and CDR also. The pants, strength with all rest would be perfect roll here. The boots, strength with all rest and armor, these are the perfect roll, but ancient would be better, of course. Now the weapon is the same. It's a Fate of the Fail. You need as much DPS as possible, and CDR, 10% CDR would be great here. But the perfect roll will be the damage, strength, then 10% damage and 10% CDR. This is extremely important, guys. The bracers are the bracers of Fury with the holy roll. They're super important. Holy roll, strength with critical hit chance, and the secondary as much as possible. Heaven Fury deals 200% damage increased to enemies that blinded, immobilize, or stun. That's super important damage for the Heaven's Fury to work properly. The chest, strength with, and Heaven's Fury. The Heaven's Fury roll, super important here. Absolutely must have Heaven's Fury roll here, guys. The belt. Now, since we don't use the Leoric's crown and cube, we need to have as much CDR as possible. This belt, it's really good. It's the Vigilant belt. It's been used before for many accounts builds to reach the 56, and for this build it's used almost perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So it's string with all res and CDR absolutely here on the Vigilant belt. As for the rings, I have the Traveler's Pledge here because I have the holy skill here on my pledge, and the damage and chance. This is like the perfect roll. And the compass rolls with string bit. I have attack speed and CDR, but you will possibly need something like all res or hit damage in chance. So you need CDR here, and the rest is just max DPS, absolutely max DPS roll, guys. The third ring is the convention of the elements with CDR. Nothing really changed here. You need CDR, damage and chance for max sheet DPS. And the unity in the cube as well. Unity can be switched with the convention of the elements if you have a good unity with CDR and elite damage and critical hit damage. It is possible to switch unity here because you don't really need critical hit chance here. The Heaven's Fury, Blessed Ground, it doesn't crit. You will have a little lower sheet DPS if you put unity here, because you will lose critical hit chance, but you will gain a 15% elite damage with the unity, like this for example. So it's really good. As for the shields, guys, that's why our build does all the fucking damage here. We need 2 shields and we need the cube one. In a perfect situation, you will have to equip the Shield of Fury on you. And the perfect roll would be Heaven's Fury damage rolled, critical hit chance, CDR, and the secondary legendary power with about 20% for Heaven's Fury ramp up. This would be the perfect shield to wear, perfect shield. As you see, my secondary legendary roll is just 15%, it's very low, and in this situation, this shield Eberlichara is better. Because I cube the Shield of Fury and get 20% secondary Heaven's Fury ramp up here in the cube, and it gives me more outcome. So for me this combination is better, guys, because it gives me a little more damage if I want this and cube Eberlichara. So I have one of this in the cube. I explain in detail how to select the proper shield for you to wear in my Diablo fans guide, so it's all written there. Go and read there, guys. If you have questions about the guide, it's very extensive, it's really nice written up guide, it's very detailed as usual. And so the shield that I wear is Eberlichara. Unfortunately, the strange thing about this shield is that it's not a Crusader shield, even though it uses the Heaven's Fury and it reduces the cooldown of Heaven's Fury by up to 50%. But it's not a Crusader shield. It's a very old shield. It's one of the first shields that appears in the game, and it's still not a Crusader shield, and you cannot roll Heaven's Fury damage here. That's a problem here. It doesn't have Heaven's Fury damage, guys. I will show you this. What's the problem with the shield? You see, no Heaven's Fury here, no Heaven's Fury. And we need 50% Heaven's Fury. It's the hugest DPS boost that they may have. So that's why equipping Shield of Fury would be the perfect situation. But this combination is also nice. I have a ton of CDR, and with this shield alone, my Heaven's Fury has no cooldown. It's the uptime is 100%, as you can see. See, it's still there, and I can spam it. So Eberlichara allows me to spam Heaven's Fury all the time. I can spam it endlessly. So how it works, guys? In the cube, we have the Shield of Fury, like I said. Shield of Fury, we need to cube one of these. And what is better in this build than the Holy Shogun? We have Aquilas Cuirass in the cube instead of Leoric's crown. So we have damage reduction. Finally, we can survive the 70 without our ass kicked all the time. You know, it's still not, entirely easy to survive in the 70 even with the Aquilas Cuirass, because the damage reduction of a Crusader is really tiny, 15%. It's tiny, but finally we managed to cube Aquilas Cuirass fully and benefit from damage reduction. We don't have a ref spender here at all. We don't have generator here at all. So we basically we make all damage through the 100% uptime of Heaven's Fury from our CDR based skill. So we don't have the spinner and we don't have the generator. What I liked about this build, it's fucking amazing, seriously. No ref spinning and no generating skill. That's crazy, absolutely. And the ring is unity, of course, with one of unities being on your followers. That's important, guys, to you to separate all damage. So as for the legendary gems, it's Bane on the Trap, the main gem that you must have. The second one is Bane the Stricken. You know what's strange about the Bane the Stricken? That I have my doubts that it actually stacks from the cast of Shield Glare or through the Heaven's Fury. I have a little doubt that it actually stacks. So it needs to be tested, and I'm not sure, but I think as I watched the Rift Guardian really closely, I think that it still stacks and it's still the best gem to kill the Rift Guardian. It's pretty much unavoidable, guys. So the Bane Stricken for now is what you have must use. The third gem is pretty much an option, guys. Third gem. I use Bane of the Powerful here for an extra DPS, cause you know it's extra lead damage and extra lead damage reduction, and 20% flat damage. This is really important. But it is possible to use esoteric alteration. Also, it is possible to use the Geyser gem. And it's somewhat possible to use near a teardrop of the Star Weaver like it was ages ago for the Crusader builds. It is also possible, but I think that esoteric alteration and the Geyser will be the best. Esoteric alteration gives you flat non-damage reduction. It basically doubles your toughness, and it's like 150 millions here instead of this. But Geyser is actually pretty cool. You know what? Why? Because we have to stand still to proc the Traveler Splash and the Compass Rose, the endless work set. And when we stand still and generate this buff, increase in damage buff, we are losing life. The mobs hit us in the fucking head and we start dying a little. And the Geyser allows us to recover this health while standing still. That's really good. So we basically can stand still for some time without any problem of dying, and it can ramp up our damage of 100% for the endless work set. So the Geyser is really a nice option here. But esoteric alteration, is all time the best damage reduction gem for the strength-based characters like the Crusader, the Barbarian, and all these strength-based characters who lack all res. So these gems, I think that are really, really good. And the last gem that I thought of is really nice for this build, actually pretty cool, is the Z-Stone of Vengeance, guys. Because when you will see my Great Reef clear, you will notice that sometimes I stand still to ramp up the Endless Walk set, and a lot of time I have to reposition and move away out of danger. And I'm pretty ranged, it's pretty both melee and range gameplay. And overall, I think the outcome of using these Stones of Vengeance instead of Bane of the Powerful will be almost the same. So I'm always somewhere on a distance from the mobs when I run around them, and they are in the center, and that's where they're burned by the blessed ground. And this is where the Z-Stone Vengeance is working. So it's not a bad gem, it's actually a very good gem, DPS gem for this. So if you plan to test and play this build, try this instead of the Bane of the Powerful, and let me know how it works for you guys, It's actually really good. Now for the skills. On the left button, Shield Glare Divine Verdict. This is absolutely required for us to proc the Bracer of Fury, and so that mobs will actually take a 200% increased damage from the Heaven's Fury because they become blinded. And with this passive here, Towering Shield, you know, that's going to be the head. With the Towering Shield, we have 100% uptime of Shield Glare, guys. 100%. It's the cooldown is 4 seconds, and the uptime is is even more. So we always have the Shield Glare absolutely all the time, guys, all the time. So it's 100% uptime with this passive, the Towering Shield. It's super important. On the right button, this is the matter of choice skill. I preferred Iron Skin, Steel Skin, because it's almost 60%, 65% uptime with the old CDR that I have, and it's 50% damage reduction for 7 seconds. That's a lot, and it's really good when you stand still a lot, working for your endless walk buff, and you can stand still a lot for really a long time, guys. But the second good option for the Iron Skin rune will be the Flash. Flash is extremely good, it allows you to move unhindered and increases your move speed. It's a really awesome rune for the old Crusaders. So sometimes I use this rune, sometimes I use this rune. It's a matter of choice, really. Another interesting skill that we can on the right button is the Judgment Mass Verdict, guys. And the Mass Verdict or debilitate it, where the Judgment. Why I don't use Judgment here, guys? Because it's not entirely necessary with the 100% uptime of Shield Glare. You see, Heaven's Fury deals 200 increased damage to an enemies that are blinded, immobilized, or stunned. So we have 100% uptime of Shield Glare when blind enemies all the time. The Judgment is not really that necessary, but it can be used for an extra damage reduction. For example, Debilitate rune is extremely good. Enemies in the judge area deal 40% reduced damage for 6 seconds. That's a huge damage reduction boost, especially against the Reef Guardian. This helps like a fucking ton. And the Mass Verdict is like a shit version of the vacuum, a shit version of Condemned Vacuum. The enemies are kind of drawn towards the area and they stay there for some, and they blind them and they stay there, and it's really good for base ground and the rays that are moving all the way in the area. But I prefer, a more solid, somewhat damage reduction for the Iron Skin, Steel Skin. Just allows me to tank shit really, really good. For mobilities, Chit Chat, Drawing Quarter, or the Endurance, of course, if you wish. I prefer Drawing Quarter because I like to drag this elite into density, and I kind of got addicted to the skill. It's really good. So it's either Draw Quarter or Endurance for mobility, guys. On the next button, Aquilas Champion Prophet. I guess I don't need to say anything about it. It's our second life and a huge toughness boost through the added armor, and with the, like I said, with the 56% CDR, we have 100% full uptime of Aquilas Champion all the time. Now the laws. Now we come up with the laws. I use Decaying Strength for the silly amount of damage reduction from the mobs and a huge amount of all res as well. I absolutely like this skill, guys. I absolutely like to survive, and it gives me so much toughness as well. So I prefer Laws of Justice, Decaying Strength. But if you use the Judgment Debilitate rune here on the right button, it is possible to drop the Laws of Justice, Decaying Strength for something else, like the Laws of Valor Critical for more damage, for example. Or the Laws of Valor, Promise of Faith for the extra non-physical. damage reduction. There's many options here. You know, there are these two skills that can be switched to whatever you want, absolutely, for an extra control or an extra damage reduction or anything else. So this build is pretty flexible, I would say. And our main damage dealer, Heaven's Fury, Blessed Ground, guys. Blessed Ground. Absolutely great damage skill. You know, I like I said, I was really, you know, doubtful about the skill, if it actually does any damage and if it works, and how it works with the Bracer of Fury. And it's actually incredible. It just stacks smoothly. And what is good about this Blessed Ground is about it's like a two-way skill. The first piece of damage comes from this race. This is basically this cooldown of Furious Rate of Holy Power that deals 1700 weapon damage as holy. All enemies caught within it. This is the race. And the secondary, the ground touched by the ray becomes blessed, scorching it and dealing 1500 weapon damage over 5 seconds. This is the secondary. This is called the residual damage on the Diablo 3 planet. This is a really cool thing, and that's why this skill is so fucking amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It covers huge areas and enemies walk through the base ground and they get fucking wrecked, destroyed. The Bracer of Fury gets procced. The Emerald Shatter allows us to spam all that shit. It's absolutely fucking amazing, guys. And the sound is fucking crazy. That's why the Loring decided to call it the microwave. It's exactly, sound reminds me of the microwave. It's fucking amazing, seriously, guys. And you also can see how much of the toughness that I have. Guys. So this is it, guys. As for the passive, Heavenly Strength for us to wear, the Fate of the Fail, Towering Shield for the 100% uptime of the Shield Glare. Without this skill, the Shield Glare will have downtime of about 3 seconds. It is not recommended. Absolutely have to remove this Towering Shield. It's the crucial passive for this build to actually work. Holy Cuirass, 10% weapon damage increase. It's a flat rate DPS boost for our weapon. It's one of the best passive for damage that the Crusader may have. Finally, increases all our strength for every gem we have inserted, and we have quite a bunch of gems here, guys, so this is just straightforward DPS. Instead of Holy Cuirass, you can have the Vigilant. Also, you can have, oh god, you can have, where is this? You can have Indestructible here for the second life. You can have Indestructible. A couple of things also to say about the Blessed Crown. I wrote it on my Diablo fans guide, but I also say that Ascendancy does about 30% more damage than the Blessed Ground. On paper, it looks like it's great to have up to a third of more damage, but in reality, Ascendancy is just a raise of power. And it's so hard to catch the mobs in this race. It's so hard, especially with all the sorcerers, shamans, and all that shit. They always run away. We always reposition. And even though the rays are really huge, they're 12-yard arrays, and they do more 30% increased damage than the Blessed Ground. But Blessed Ground is much more reliable with the Scorching Ground. It's absolutely much more reliable, guys. And it just does more damage overall. The effective DPS of Blessed Ground is better. I tried using Ascendancy and I spent like 3 minutes in the 70 trying to kill the Elite Phasing Beast he was teleporting all the fucking screen around, and I couldn't simply catch him in this race of ascendancy. So I gave up on the idea to use ascendancy really fast, guys, really fast. Also, I would like to add that there's a couple of options for the belt. You can also use the witching hour. It will be straightforward DPS boost. But unfortunately you will have around over a second of downtime of your Akkhan's champion, so it's not really recommended unless you have something else to, you know, to add to your CDR here. There is one interesting option. Instead of the travel splash and the compass rose, you can use Hellfire Amulet in some other rings like the Justice Lantern, for example, or the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So an interesting option is to use the Hellfire Amulet with some of the interesting passive like Indestructible, for example, for an extra life. The Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube. You can wear Unity, and also you can wear, for example, Illusory Boots or the Leoric's Crown, and it will give you even more CDR. And with Illusory Boots you will be moving freely. That's a really good option. So for this build, Hellfire Amulet is actually exceptionally good. It's not a bad option. If you don't have a really good compass rose or the travel splash, you can use Hellfire. It is also cool, and it's actually will smoother to play with the Illusory Boots, and with the Leoric's Crown you will have a fucking ton of CDR as well. You will have less uptime, less downtime on the Iron Skin, for example, and less downtime on Decaying Strength and the other laws, and it's actually be much smoother to play. So this is it, guys. I hope I explained everything to you, and watch the clear after this video. And I would like to thank you all for the feedback that you give me for my builds, for my videos. It's absolutely priceless, guys, and I want you to continue doing this every day as I do now. I'm trying to do videos every day, and I also would like to thank Valorin and who brought this build, who came up with the idea for this build, and all the other guys who comment on my videos and share their ideas for the builds. Absolutely priceless feedback, guys. And you know, sharing is caring, and I also appreciate all the feedback that you give me. And with your help and with my help, we come up with all these crazy ideas for this crazy build, guys. Absolutely appreciate this. Now let me check briefly if I haven't forgotten anything here, guys. Let me check briefly. Yeah, I think I explained everything. So take a look at the clear and let me know how you like the build, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching.